They sell it as the little pill that can help you have a happy marriage and ensure a thriving love life. Fortunately, it's only for men. Drugs like Viagra and Cialis are all over the place, but women suffer from sexual dysfunction too. So why no pill for them? Turns out there is one, but you can't get it. So we sent ABC's Mara Schiavo-Campo to find out why.
It's known as Viagra for women.
So it's the little pink pill.
It is the little pink pill.
A tiny tablet that could have a huge impact in the bedroom.
I think this is absolutely an evolution in the female sexual revolution.
But you won't be able to get the pink pill just yet, because the drug is locked in a heated battle for FDA approval, raising controversial questions about why there are so many sexual enhancement drugs out there for men.
Why would you let something like erectile dysfunction get in your way?
And 0 for women.
There are 25 drugs approved for some form of male sexual dysfunction, but still a great big 0 for the most common form of female sexual dysfunction.
Well, we're going to have spaghetti for dinner. Hope that's okay. I think when I really realized something was wrong was when I just didn't feel like myself.
This busy mom of 4, Amanda Parrish, says she used to have a smoldering sex life with her husband. Over time, things cooled off big time. She says the problem wasn't with him, but with her.
I felt like even though we were close and having a great relationship, there was something just not there.
Amanda Parrish took the pink pill as part of the clinical trials.
I can remember the very first time driving down the road at about lunchtime in the middle of the day, thinking about my husband and all of a sudden getting a little flutter. And when I say flutter, I'm not talking about a heart rate flutter. It was a little further south, but that was the first time literally probably in my life that had ever happened to me.
Amanda found herself buying sexy lingerie and initiating things in the bedroom.
Whether it was because my inhibitions loosened up or because the desire had returned, I became much more of an initiator, and in turn we became much closer intimately.
Amanda says she never discussed the issue with her friends, but had a sneaking suspicion she wasn't alone.
If you really asked 10 ladies on the street, I think probably 7 or 8 of those would fess up that their sex life was not what they had wanted it to be.
Need me in the movie store.
Now we need women. Hi.
So that's exactly what we did.
A few minutes to chat for Nightline. We're with Nightline. We have a very famous doctor here.
Accompanied by gynecologist and sexual health crusader Dr. Lauren Stryker, we hit the streets of New York City to talk about a taboo.
There's a pill that's in development, not FDA approved yet.
Woo, for women, like Viagra?
There you go. If you did have a low sex drive at some point in your life,
even without it, I'd take it.
Is it something you would consider taking? If
you knew that there was a pill,
I'd take it.
You take it. Because it's such a taboo topic, women don't know that other women have these issues, and they feel very isolated.
How common is this?
It's very common.
But the little pink pill is about more than curing waning libido. It's specifically for treating hypoactive sexual desire disorder, or HSDD.
If you're married and you have no sexual desire, but if, Channing Tatum walks through the door, everything changes, do you have that condition?
You do not. That's important,
But how can you gauge that if Channing Tatum isn't in your house?
So there's a diagnostic questionnaire that physicians go through, and they really can pretty quickly get to whether or not this is a relationship dynamic or something is happening biologically.
Some estimates say as many as 1 in 10 women suffer from HSDD. While many doctors agree it's a problem,
there are no medical treatment options at all for HSDD.
Cindy Whitehead is out to change that.
About 4 in 10 women report sexual dysfunction.
She's the woman behind the little pink pill, whose working name is the less than sexy Flibanserin. She quit her job to buy the rights and founded Sprout Pharmaceuticals. She's been fighting for FDA approval for 3 years.
So this has been called the female Viagra.
Right.
Is that accurate?
It's not. Contextually, I get why people call it that, but in truth, it works very differently than Viagra does. Viagra is a blood flow issue, a mechanical issue, and Flibanserin works on key chemicals in the brain.
Scientists have known for years that a woman's biggest sexual organ is actually her brain, and that's what Flibanserin targets. Taken every day, it's not hormonal, but rather works on brain chemistry. 1,000 women participated in the trials. According to Sprout's results, on average, the women taking Flibanserin doubled their number of so-called satisfying sexual events and reported a 50% increase in sexual desire.
So how would you characterize that? If you were with a girlfriend at a cocktail party and she said, "How did it go?" What would you say?
I would say if you talk to any one of those patients, they tell you that's a significant impact.
But about 15% of those in the clinical trials dropped out because of side effects, including dizziness and sleepiness, which pink pill proponents point out seem mild compared to those in the iconic Viagra commercials.
To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours.
So what did you hear from the FDA?
We heard from the FDA, in the simplest term, no. What they basically said to us is, in the risk-benefit evaluation, they felt that Flibanserin's effect was only modest, and therefore they didn't give us an approval.
The FDA's rejection of Flibanserin ignited a storm of controversy, with many crying sexism. The agency barraged with letters in support of the drug from prominent women's groups and even a handful of congresswomen.
When you look at how many options there are for male sexual dysfunction, when you're talking about medical options, there's more than 20, and that we have 0 FDA-approved for women's use. What do you think's going on there?
Well, first of all, I think there's some sexism at play. No one is making this up. This is not a Hallmark holiday that someone just decided to invent something in order to sell more of something.
The FDA denied our request to be interviewed about Flibanserin or comment specifically on the drug, but said they are committed to advancing treatments for female sexual dysfunction and denied any allegations of gender bias.
It's not sexist for the FDA not to approve a drug that it doesn't believe is effective or safe.
Some doctors say Flibanserin was rejected for a very simple reason. It's an ineffective drug for a non-existent problem.
It's a classic marketing technique to first create a problem and then sell the solution. And that's what's going on here. Of course, sexual desire varies by person and it varies by phase of life, but that doesn't make it a disease.
Cindy Whitehead and Sprout Pharmaceuticals are appealing the FDA's decision. If Sprout wins the appeal, Flibanserin could be available as early as next year. It's a ruling women like Amanda Parrish are eagerly waiting for.
I will be the first one waiting for my prescription. I believe that strongly in how it works, and I believe that strongly that women deserve an equal opportunity to enjoy and become active members in their sex life.
What would that mean to you, to be first to market with this?
I think it's much more than getting a drug approved. This is an important moment in women's health care and in, I think, a societal moment around women's sexuality.
For Nightline, I'm Mara Schiavocampo in North Carolina.
So do you think sexism was a factor in the FDA's rejection? Let us know. Tweet us at Nightline.